Hey parents, welcome to Virtual Open House 2020. This is a little weird. Usually I really enjoy this night because I get to see all of your faces and see who you are and get a read on who your kids might be and that sort of thing. So coming to you virtually from my home studio, aka guest bedroom, isn't exactly ideal, but 2020, it is what it is. So I'm coming at you to talk to you about senior literature, which your student has with me either third or fourth hour this semester, technically. This is a semester class, and we're going to be reading some really, really good literature. The first one that we're going to start out with, I actually let the students choose the order of the books, and they voted, and they decided that we would first read a novel called Out of My Mind, which some kids actually read in elementary school. It's about a young girl, 10 years old, the same age as my daughter, and the girl in the book has CP, or cerebral palsy. And so it's an interesting exploration of what it's like to be someone who has a disability, and they have to survive in a world where people identify you and judge you based on that disability. It's a really rich piece of literature. And even though it's good for younger kids to read, you can still get a ton out of it as an older student. After that, we're going to move on to A Thousand Splendid Suns, which takes place in Afghanistan, and it's by the same author who wrote The Kite Runner, which is just hugely popular. And that book really gives an interesting account of what it's like to be a woman in Afghanistan in the Middle East. And I thought, honestly, I put off reading it for a while because I thought it'd be a bit depressing. And it wasn't. It's not. It's engaging. It's crazy. It's difficult to stop reading, actually. So I think the kids are really going to enjoy it, and we can get a different perspective on what it's like to live in an area that we're pretty unfamiliar with in general, at least in a positive way. And then our final book is going to be Extremely Loud and Incredibly Close. And that story is about a young man on the autistic spectrum whose father dies in the 9/11 terrorist attack. And so there's a lot there to unpack. So obviously we'll get to delve into all three of these novels, and we'll do some classic literary analysis. We'll do some like character arcs and character development and that sort of thing. But after we get past that technical analysis, I really like to get into more of a holistic reading of the books. I like the kids to look at the books and try to use empathy and try to look through different lenses and try to see what they can pull out of the text that actually has meaning to them as a reader, and how we can expand that to be a theme or a moral that we can apply to the world in general. We'll have a lot of great discussions. There'll be some essays written, some other essays read, and in general, I think it's going to be a really good class. Um, so on the in-person days, we'll do a lot of reading and discussing. On the virtual days when the kids are not at school, they will be responsible for primarily two things. The first of which is going to be book love, which you and probably they are also familiar with, I imagine, by this point. And we do book love because the more someone reads, the better their reading stamina is, the better their vocabulary becomes. And the more you read good writing, the better you become at writing and speaking as well. So it's just a really powerful tool that I really do encourage your kids and yourselves to incorporate into a daily routine of at least 20 to 30 minutes. And I realize teachers have been saying that to you since literally second grade, but it really is probably the best thing you can do for your child's education. So reading 20 to 30 minutes a day. The other thing that I'll have them do on their virtual days is a lot of journaling. They need to do writing, and kids, they'll do a lot of texting and that sort of thing, but they don't do a lot of reflective writing where they're analyzing topics and trying to figure out how they feel about it and why they feel that way about it and what their opinions are on the world in general, and why they have those opinions. So that's the two things that I'll have them be doing at home. I don't have a lot of time left in this video, so I'll just give you the basics. Everything's on Google Classroom. You can email me from Google Classroom, or you can email me at jofisher@fhps.net. My late work policy is if it's late and it wasn't done on time, then it goes down to 50%, but they can turn that work in at any point in the semester up to the week before exam week. We're supposed to keep this under 5 minutes, so that's pretty much all the time I have. I wish I could see you guys in person. I really, really do. Hopefully parent-teacher conferences will happen. But for now, that's all I've got. And Congratulations. You got yourself a senior. You've done well. Take care.